Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, part 2 of my interview with legendary architect Paul Steelman. He's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The new year is bringing so much fun to Tamarack Casino with cash and free play drawings Thursdays and Saturdays, and $40,000 in grand finale giveaways Thursday, February 27th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're delighted to have part 2 of an interview here with Paul Steelman. He heads up Steelman Partners. He has designed casinos all over the world and is just one of the great architects for casinos and everything else as well. I wanted to ask you about Derek Stevens. You designed Circa.
Correct.
And, you know, you've got the unbelievable swimming pool area. You've got the unbelievable sports book there,
Right.
3 stories tall. But Derek Stevens, and I have not had the opportunity to interview him yet, and I'm hoping to in the future, but it seems to me that he is a character in a way like a Steve Wynn. And maybe the difference is that you can find Derek Stevens sitting at one of his bars being part of the action. Can you give us a thumbnail sketch of Derek Stevens and what it was like to work with him?
Well, we had to win Circa in a competition. And as Derek said when we won the competition, that Paul Steelman gets it, gets what he wants. He's truly a genius at what he does. There's no question about it. He gave us the opportunities to show him a building that had some pretty unique features that were controversial. Like the sports book, the sports theater that we called it was controversial. When I showed it to Steve Wynn, I talked to Steve Wynn about it. Steve Wynn said, "Paul, that's the stupidest idea you've ever had." I said, "Steve, you got to realize Derek thinks this is his Beyonce concert 84 days a year with 84 special sporting events." And then he said to me, "Well, that could work, Paul. That could work." And it has, obviously. We're very proud of Circa. We're very proud that Derek has reinvented Las Vegas, and he is in the mold of the entrepreneurs of Tillman Fertitta and Frank Fertitta and Steve Wynn and so forth and so on. He wants to concentrate his efforts there. I think a little bit different than most of our clients. He is a sports gambler, and he does like it a lot. And so consequently, us focusing this project on that you know, the stadium of casinos, the stadium of everything. I mean, that was truly unique. Working with him and his team was really good. I mean, his brother, Greg, is a very talented guy, and maybe interview them both together because Greg kind of sits in the background, but he is an engineer. There's certain things about that building are not done in Las Vegas.
Like?
Well, like the horizontal distribution of the hotel tower. I mean, that's not done. They're all vertically distributed. And things that it has probably the most unique loading dock. It has the biggest beer coolers. I mean, it has an unbelievable back of the house support space that's not only designed to be functional and let the guest make every move seamlessly, it's also designed to be very efficient from employees and from everything like this. Why do you think that they only allow people over 21 there?
Because they can gamble.
No,
and drink.
no, that's not exactly right. Because,
Okay.
you know, in the world of our gambling and liquor and so on and so on, if you have to train every single bartender to look at 50 different licenses to see, you know, how does that slow everything down?
Really?
It does. It slows everything down. So consequently, just let everybody over 21 in the building. It's a very unique concept. And look, at the end of the day, we love designing for Dirk. He's a fascinating guy who really, really understands the business. He is a quote unquote operator, and those are the best people to design them.
Did it surprise you if you wanted to do it in downtown Las Vegas?
No, I know he loves downtown. He loves it. Absolutely loved it. He is single-handedly, although Tillman did a remarkable job with the Golden Nugget. I mean, you have to look at the Golden Nugget today compared to when Steve, had it. I mean, it's tremendously expanded, renovated, and so on. Tillman's work at the Golden Nugget was absolutely incredible. But Derek on the street, on the Fremont Street, you have to realize it's the second most popular street in the world, with 24, 28 million people visiting it. And, you know, Derek is very active in that street and having how that street markets, because obviously his street casinos on it. The Golden Gate, the D, and Circa. So, I mean, absolutely a wonderful man. And we couldn't be more pleased that he did invest in downtown. All of Nevada is pleased about that.
All right, let's go around the world a bit. Macau. You have built multiple properties in Macau.
Yes.
How does your mindset have to change designing for Asia? Because you're in multiple countries in Asia, not just in Macau. And, you know, when we talk about Hispanic community, people tend to put everybody together, but in fact, it's multiple countries. How is your mindset when you're designing for Macau/Asia?
Well, it's interesting. When we designed our first building in Macau, the Sands Macau, probably the most successful building we've ever designed for Sheldon, Bill Weiner, and Brad Stone. I mean,
Why was it so successful?
successful? Well, I visited the Lisboa many times, or several times to put it like this, and I said, oh my gosh, gambling is not an activity here, it's a sport. It's me against them. It's a sport. I'm going to win. And so our main thing that we showed Sheldon in a hurried weekend over Labor Day in the 2001 was the Stadium of Gambling. And that's what we did there. We understood that this was a shorter visit, and initially, and that we had to do VIP gaming rooms that were closed off, which aren't allowed in Nevada, and they had the chip washing procedures and so on and so on that make gambling a little bit different. But the overall tandem-based activity that we do here, that we attract people who are, well, they like to gamble a little bit, but they're not true gamblers. Those tandem-based activities were not nearly as important in the beginnings of Macau as they are now. Now, Macau is changing a lot.
And the government has forced that.
The government has forced it on these particular operators. Of course, the ones that Sheldon built, I mean, when Sheldon built the Venetian down there, it was the biggest building in the world. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it was the second biggest building in the world. It was it had so many activities. Of course, it's gambling space. Now, to think about this in relationship, the largest casino in Las Vegas is like 117,000 square feet. I believe it's the MGM, or maybe it might be Wynn and Encore combined now. In the Venetian was 537,000 square feet of gambling space on the casino floor, plus the VIP rooms. So you got to think about that. Oh my gosh, that's 10, 12 acres of gaming space.
Now, did you have to, and did you even realize that not only was it going to be gambling at the tables, but there were going to be rows of people gambling beyond that with each other on what was happening at the tables they couldn't reach?
Sure, we did realize that. And when we opened up the Sands and those 35,000 people were in queue, the escalators broke down, people fell in fountains.
35,000?
35,000 people in queue to see the Sands. Matter of fact, all the storefront was broken because at the last minute they told us we had to have metal detectors, and the people were crowded because there's some luck associated with the first bet, and there were so many the escalators were quite long, and there were so many Asian people that were on those escalators that they overloaded it. It started to go backwards, and they would fall into the feng shui fountain and things like this. It was an amazing experience. It was one of the I always was amazed at watching everybody roll up the road at the Mirage to see it in 1989, but that 2004 opening of the Sands was just shocking. How many people. We understood the Sands, even though we tailored it to the Asian customers, we understood that it was, they wanted the Las Vegas formula. They wanted it. And, I never forget when we did it, the traffic engineer said, Mr. Steelman, you have designed a porte-cochere that holds every taxi in the country in the porte-cochere. I said, I made it too small.
Wow.
So I made it too, and it's true. But at that particular time, it was just unbelievable. Of course, it fueled all the growth from the 6 licensees there. MGM, Melco, Galaxy has done a wonderful job, which we've done many projects for, Francis Louis, and they've absolutely, Lisboa and Stanley Ho, or may rest in peace.
Right.
But his family. It's just a fantastic place. I hope with this new push, with the 10-year renewal of the licenses, that in fact they can get a little bit back to Las Vegas. They can understand that between them. A little bit of the New Jersey syndrome hits casino operators. The New Jersey syndrome in the early 80s was get them there and keep them in the building. All right, a little bit of that always an operator thinks about. And so consequently in Las Vegas, the 168-hour visit is 3 to 4 people, 3 to 4 visits of different things to do. It's true. It would be best if an MGM customer stayed at MGM and took the zone. What MGM and Caesars have done is tried to say, well, why don't you go to Bellagio? Why don't you go, one of ours? And of course, they're successful now. They have large quantities of hotel rooms at theaters here.
Well, the other thing is that both Macau and Singapore have made it so that it can't just be about gaming. It has to be about everything else. And it's fascinating in Singapore, which I was lucky enough to visit last March, that how massive the property is. By comparison, the casino seems small, even though it is not, but they have added so much more, and they want to keep adding more that is non-gaming.
That's correct.
Is that okay with you?
Oh, sure it is. We welcome it. We used to have a formula, still today, but it's 12x for us. If the casino is 100,000 square feet, the podium should be 1.2 million square feet. It should be 12x. Local casinos in markets and like Native American casinos that start in virgin territories might be 4x. But the idea is that you have to have enough tandem activities in America that you have to have enough retail, and most certainly you have to have enough convention space. This is how you fill your midweek rooms and this sort of thing. But the Macau version of Las Vegas is probably yet to still be seen. We just finished up a wonderful...
As big as it is.
Yeah, exactly. We have just finished up a wonderful convention center for Galaxy with a unique 15,000 seat arena, and the UFC was there And I talked to them, and they said, "Oh, that's a fantastic arena you did there." Well, it turned out well. Of course, Francis is a legend, a very visionary guy. And I imagine, it's quite unique that you have Sheldon, Adelson, and Sands, and you have the Ho family, and then you have this Francis Louis, whose father was a real estate developer, and he got a license together with Venetian, which would be a story for a show, and consequently, he has developed some remarkable properties that we're very pleased that we assisted him with some of those. But they're going to try to be the Asian Las Vegas. But the thing is, well, I tell a lot of people this, and I give some lectures on this, especially about new jurisdictions. Everybody kind of wants Las Vegas, but they never quite follow the Las Vegas formula. They don't have the government. They don't have Steve Hill at the convention center. They don't have the integration of sports. They don't have low taxes. They don't have a development-friendly government. So they all want it, but then they pull back. Many times I flew around in 2008 with the Prime Minister of Thailand in his helicopter, and we looked at all sorts of sites. He wanted to build Las Vegas. He really did. Prime Minister Samak was his name. And we almost crashed the helicopter a couple times, but he wanted to build it. And quite frankly, when I show people, I take Las Vegas Strip and I put it next to an airport or something in a farmland, something. It's surprising how small it is. It's small.
Yes.
Very small. Yet it generates an incredible amount of tourism. And that smallness, that's what makes it. When it's big, spread out, lots of walking in between things, it does work.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back more with Paul Steelman after this timeout. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Here on 7 at 7, we're bringing you the local headlines in just 7 minutes.
We've got you covered in the morning, evening, and for all breaking news in between and as it happens.
Life is busy, and we don't waste your time. Join us for local news now streaming on our YouTube page.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with the noted architect Paul Steelman. He runs a firm called Steelman Partners, has built casino properties all over the world. And please feel free to Google him to find out more information, because otherwise it would take up the whole show. You're working now in Dubai. I find this fascinating because, and especially with the purchase recently of the property in London, the small high-end gaming property, I believe that this could really affect the revenues for England in terms of gambling if we're now developing in the Middle East. What are your thoughts on Dubai and what they can do with this? Because they sure do amazing architectural things.
We have had some inquiries in Dubai and Abu Dhabi in the Emirates. Obviously, Craig Billings at Wynn is building DeRuyter Butler, and they're building an incredible resort there that, well, quite frankly, looks fascinating. The Emirates will decide for themselves what they each want. Of course, some will not have it at all. Sharjah will not have it at all. It is a fascinating sort of place. There's no question. We did have an office there for 5 years that we closed prior to COVID. It does have the legs to become the Las Vegas of the Middle East, and I think it's probably in the cards that someday we'll have that. It has a government that is really, really interested in development. So consequently, what you see there is just a small bite at what it possibly could be. And I definitely think we actually did a master plan for them maybe 20 years ago for Tatweer in a place called Bawadi. And it was the funniest place, the Bawadi. They actually copied the strip in Las Vegas, the exact length, and they copied the plots. And then they had these giant signs up there that would say, "Coming soon, the Roman casino." See, coming soon. No, they didn't have any deals. And this place was far in the desert. And I was like, well, Las Vegas was in the desert. We could do it in the desert. We don't need to do it on the waterfront. But as things are developing, obviously there are tremendous sites. I mean, Atlantis, owned by the Kerzner company now, with CEO Paul Baker, experienced gaming operator. Obviously, these places could be wonderful casinos, and they could increase tourism a lot. I think a lot of it has to do with American companies and the American regulations of know your customer. They're going to have a lot of new customers that they're going to have to get to know a lot. But we're anxious to do something in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and we're working on that right now. So we'll see where it takes us, and where nobody really knows the tax rate and things like this. So it's tax rate, of course. I always say a tax rate is like in Austria and Vienna is 70%. So the casino is this big, small, and it's as big as my office, let's say. And then when the tax rate is like Nevada at 7%, well, you get 7 million square foot building. So I mean, consequently, you have to consider that.
Add that to the list of all the other things you said were in favor of Nevada. Yeah. Let's take one more break and we'll be right back after this timeout.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
A new year brings new ways to win big with the $150,000 flurry of cash giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thursday and Saturday prize drawings, including up to $5,000 in cash and up to $10,000 during the grand prize giveaways, only at the Carson Valley Inn.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do-It-Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. it's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games, it's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers in our remaining minutes here with Paul Steelman, the noted architect with Steelman Partners. You wanted to have the last word and talk about Nevada.
Well, I think right now, with the advent of sports here, and the sports quadrangle that's being created with the new A's Stadium, Allegiant, potentially NBA arenas, and this quadrangle and the potential arena locations, whether they be at the Rio or one project we designed at LBXP. We have never seen in the history of this business since 1987 the amount of interest in Las Vegas. The movies, the sports, the diversity of the tourism, the convention center being the largest in the world, we have never seen it. So what's in the future, which I have 27 NDAs, I can't say anything about almost everything, but what is in the future is absolutely fascinating.
Okay, so let's just say I'd like to come visit with you again, and let's continue this conversation.
Of course.
What a pleasure and a delight. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Sam.
And we'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. And our thanks to the staff and management of the Ahern Hotel for taking good care of us as always. Stay here when you're in Las Vegas. We'll see you on the next broadcast.